Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Dota 2 Asia Championships. Your European qualifiers end today. We're down to 3 teams, and all of them have qualified for the big event, but only one of them will be seeded directly into the main event. The last two, second and third place, one of these two teams, either NaVi or Power Rangers, guaranteed to be a wildcard team, which means they've got the long, hard road to fight through. This is one of the biggest events of the year, if not the biggest after the International 5 coming this summer. $1.6 million and rising. The prize pool already having exceeded that of TI1 and TI2. It's a doozy. And with that said, we get underway now. It's Power Rangers versus NaVi, best of 3 showdown. Now, these teams have faced each other before. They played in the winner's bracket. Their first match was a 2-1 victory for Power Rangers, but NaVi battled their way back through the lower bracket, taking down the likes of Alliance. And to get here, it's been a close run for them. They had some struggles along the way. They dealt with Tinker fairly easy 2-0, and they took down Empire as well, 2-1. So NaVi looking good coming into this match. And well, with that said, the draft now underway. It's a pretty standard opening here from Power Rangers. They go for the Vengeful Spirit first pick, something they've run 5-6 times already this tournament, and we'll look to see more of it moving forward. With that all said, I'm not alone here. I'm LD. I'm joined here by Blitz. How you doing, Will?
I'm doing pretty good. I woke up extra early just so I could cast this game with you, so I'm feeling pretty good right now, actually.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem, LD.
Did you do it just for me? Or did
No,
you have an
I was
ulterior
super
motive?
tired. I was super tired, so I passed out around like 7 p.m. or something.
Okay. So, I'm not sure how much you've gotten to watch, but NaVi have been running this Magnus a lot. And Dendi, he's gotten a lot of hate for his Magnus in the past, saying it's not really a Dendi hero, you know, he's better on the TA, the Queen of Pain, the Puck. I am here to tell you, you're wrong. His Magnus has actually been really good this tournament, and they've picked it. It's the most played hero for him in the event, which you go back a while ago, like NaVi would run it for him occasionally, but he didn't really seem that comfortable on it. But I gotta say, Will, he has been a beast on the hero as of late.
Yeah, actually, I didn't want to be honest with the viewers and stuff like that. I haven't seen a lot of the DAC Europe qualifiers, but the games that I did see, I saw Dendi play Mag, I think twice, and he was pretty beastly on it. And the knock on Dendi has been that you usually see him play the heroes that can do the solo outplays, you know, when you can catch a hero out by himself or like a lane dominator, and Mag isn't necessarily that. Like, Mag can kind of go even in a lane, but he's not meant to win the lane hard by any means, and he's definitely not meant to get any solo kills. But I think I saw him play against Sing Sing once, when Sing Sing was like Wind Ranger, I believe, and Dendi was Magnus, and he solo killed him, which definitely shouldn't happen. So it looks like he has a bit more familiarity with the hero, looks a little bit more comfortable. I saw him pick it up on his stream a few times, and he looks a lot better on it than he used to. Like, I remember what you were talking about. Back then, you would pick Dendi Magnus, and then eventually he would try to do something YOLO, things would fall apart, and that isn't the type of hero Magnus is.
Yeah, Dendi has been very disciplined. There was a play in one of the previous series where the enemy Faceless Void chronoed, and he blinked over the chrono and RP'd 3 heroes who were right on the periphery, including the Void. His team still ended up losing the fight, but it was just one of those very patient, well-executed plays that he's been delivering more and more on this hero. So, looking at some of the other picks and bans so far in this draft, I want to point out NaVi banned the Puck in the first phase, which it's a pretty popular hero right now, especially in CIS, but it's not a hugely successful hero. Power Rangers, they're 2-2 with it. It's one of their go-tos, generally Cheshire Cat, the one to play it. So they will ban it out. Also, the Havost, Lycan, and Troll both removed, and he's played Troll twice. I believe he's played Lycan once in this tournament, but I feel like one of the changes for NaVi in this tournament has been that they've been just picking Havost heroes that he's more comfortable with. He's been on very tanky and very mobile heroes. So heroes that want to be in the middle of the fight, Bristleback, Lycan, Troll, Faceless Void to some extent, even like an Axe pick earlier in the event. And when he's been on these heroes, even if they lose, like, he at least has a solid impact, and he's been a lot more disciplined. It's a kind of revitalized NaVi. On the other side, you've got Power Rangers. They'll snag the Rubik now, and it's been a go-to for the team, and actually one of the highest impact supports in the entire tournament. There's quite a few teams that have been running this, like, every single game. Empire's been playing quite a bit of it, even though they end up falling short here. Hellraisers have run it as well, and I have to say, the Rubik picks in general have been very successful, and, well, you're up against Void Mag, so, and Lion as well, so a lot of good spells to steal this time around.
Yeah, there's nothing that you can steal that's going to be terrible. Like, even if you just go and steal anything of Magnus's, unless it's Empower, I guess. Well, if you have a carry, Empower can still be okay, but what I really like from them, from Power Rangers off the bat, is the Vengeful Spirit Batrider pickup. I think those two in tandem work really well together. On top of the fact that Vengeful Spirit is Batrider's natural counter. You saw Batrider get picked a ton, and then people were thinking to themselves, well, what do we do against this hero? But then you just pick Vengeful Spirit and her swap insta-breaks the lasso.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to take them together. I'm not saying if you pick Batrider into a Vengeful Spirit, it's an auto loss, but it does make things really difficult. Half the time you have to pick up the Vengeful Spirit just so she doesn't just instantly break your ultimate. And then when your ultimate's gone, that's half the viability of the hero.
Yeah,
But Rubik, it's pretty good. I mean, especially against the Witch Doctor now, too.
10 seconds
it's kind of interesting as well, because, you know, a lot of people have talked about Venge as maybe not a hard counter to Void, but definitely one of the better supports against him. But Navi are not phased by that. They go into Void after seeing the Venge pick.
I mean, the hero itself is just really good. Because if there's a Venge and he's going to swap one of his teammates out, or he's going to swap the Venge out, no matter what, somebody's going to be in the Chrono.
You know what the counter to the... Yeah, that's true, but you know what the real counter to the Venge swap is? Just get Refresher. He swaps swaps the hero out, then you just Chrono them the second
You create
time.
two large domes where no Raiden can get through LD.
No, just pain. Nothing but pain. Power Rangers will now go for the Necrophos. They have run this before in the tournament, and they ran it for Shachlo. So a 2-position Necrolite was what they did last time around. Ditya, normally the carry player. It's his hero that Power Rangers still have to pick up, and, well, his Slark has been removed from the pool. One of his signatures... This guy is versatile, though. There was a period where I think he played Slark like 20 games in a row. It felt like every game. The hero that he rose to fame on. But in this tournament, well, he has played 9 different heroes. He has not played the same hero twice yet. So, Viper, Shadow Fiend, Gyro, Tiny, when they had a Wisp, Morphling, Dusa, Invoker. You really have no idea what Ditya is going to be on.
Yeah, and he still has a lot of options. Just because he has shown the ability to pretty much play everything, it's a little bit difficult to prepare for a player like that. And if you notice, Navi's bans and stuff were centered around the fact that, well, maybe he's going to be playing the Drow or the Slark, so we'll take that out. And then the last ban, Razor, maybe because Necro is a position 1. Like, they just decided to pick him as 10th individual hero or something like that.
Okay. Well,
because I could foresee... sorry?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I could foresee a Necro short lane and then something of a lane dominator mid against a Magnus. But I guess Magnus trades well against pretty much everything in terms of mid heroes.
Yeah.
Because you can just spam whatever that spell's called.
It's Shockwave.
Yeah.
Oh. How do you feel about this? The Juggernaut getting through until the 5th pick. It's been a first phase ban in quite a few games. I know against Alliance, Troll, and Juggernaut were the 2 heroes Navi banned every single game. But it makes it all the way to 5th pick for Navi.
Yeah, that's... I assume that Power Rangers, they saw the mag and the Lion, and then they were like, okay, well, those don't really do much with Juggernaut. Like, I don't see a whole lot of synergy with the Navi draft. Yeah, I mean, I guess you have Faceless Void plus Mag RP, but that seems a little bit redundant. I guess you've got the Witch Doctor, Faceless Void. I mean, if you get a good Chrono off or a good RP off, but it feels like Navi seems a little bit too reliant on ultimates for damage, so they're probably gonna just want to like run at them and take a lot of team fights, which is how the old Navi used to play. And I think Power Rangers lineup is a little bit more balanced. They've got a lot of team fight. They've got a lot of ways to engage and disengage, and re-engage on top of that.
Man, this is a really good Rubik game now. Even like the Juggernaut pick. I forget who it was. Someone stole Omni Slash the other day, got a double kill with it, and you know, obviously Rubik doesn't benefit as much from Omni because he generally doesn't have a lot of attack speed or ability to get extra slashes, but it was still sensational. So now you can steal Omni, RP, you mentioned it, power can be nice in certain situations, Shockwave to D-push, Hex from Lion is great. If this Rubik gets farmed, Sonico, and oh, you know what, I think it might have been Sonico actually who did that. He could really run them over in the mid-game, so I feel like I look at this Power Rangers draft and I'm most excited to see if Sonico can make some big plays for them.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this is just the perfect Rubik game.
It's a wet dream.
It's kind of hard. Yeah, he's going to have to be a little bit careful to not... I mean, the only thing he has to do is not get caught in the 2 big ultimates. If he doesn't get caught in the RP or the the Void Chronosphere. I'm kind of curious to see if Goblak's going to be playing the 5. Because if Goblak could get a Blink Dagger, maybe he could ruin Soneko's life by just going in, hexing him, and then by the time the team fight's over, things have kind of petered out. But traditionally, you want Witch Doctor to try to be your 4 player, just get the Aghanims. Because the damage on that alone can win you the team fight. Like, it seems like Navi's entire draft is centered around the fact that if we get one of our 5 abilities, our ultimates off, we can win the fight.
Yeah. I do like the Magnus Lion combo, though. This is something Navi showed the other day, and you get if you get a 2/3 hero RP, it's a guaranteed multiple hero Earth Spike, so that's some pretty good synergy. It also sets up for the cast to bounce nicely, and you mentioned, I think correctly, that Magnus and Void sometimes struggle to synergize, because you chrono it, you can't blink RP that, you blink RP, Void doesn't want to chrono that too early, but if he waits too long, maybe they can turn the fight if the timing's not just right. But there is still potential here if they chain it up properly to just get a super fat Funnick and just run PR over. And it'll be nice for them having the Lion as well. You're up against a Morphling, instant Hex, important, so you can't turn on Strength Morph. But with that said, I'm looking forward to the Batrider pick as well. This is a hero that just... He's been fairly low priority in this particular qualifier. The American qualifier, we saw a lot more Batrider. Cloud9, a good example. They were running the Bone 7 bat with the Lycan Wolves for Eternal Envy, and suddenly, surprise, it's me, Bat, and just starts ganking heroes all over the place.
Yeah, I don't actually know why the hero isn't picked up more. Like, the hero itself wasn't changed too much. It's still one of the best initiators in the game. It might just be because the advent of items like Force Staff, Yules, and stuff like that, it's difficult to get really good targets, and Bat's a bit squishy, you can just run in and kill him instantly. And before, Bat used to be really good in the off lane, because you could soak XP, you could play one-on-ones pretty easily, but now you just go to the jungle immediately. And there are heroes that seem to be a little bit more effective in the off lane. But I think that the strategies for both teams going into this is that Navi looks for the huge team fights like we talked about extensively. You just try to land one of your big abilities, and I think for PR, it's to avoid large-scale team fights where things can go really wrong, and just look for pickoffs with the Venge and the Batrider. Like, if Batrider gets a really quick blink here, then you open up the space for the game by just going around blinking with 1 or 2 support heroes and just trying to get kills around the map. And if you notice, the Bat's actually gone for 2 rings of protection, so I think he's going to be more focused on trying to contest this lane rather than just going straight to the jungle. That usually signifies that you're willing to trade right clicks with the support heroes if you go 2 rings of protection.
Yeah, and well, with that said, he's going to be up against a Lion Witch Doctor early on. With the Jug here, it's something Alliance have had pretty good first blood success with, actually. The Lion Jug, they've gotten quite a few, but against a Batrider, that's not so easy. Firefly into the trees, up and down the cliff, so he should be a nuisance in this offlane. And well, with that said, guys, we get underway now. It's Navi versus PR, best of 3. Loser does not go home. All these teams going to China, but loser will be a guaranteed wildcard seed. Winner has a shot to take down Hellraisers and be the 1 qualified European team straight into the main event. Navi, on the dire side, you've got Funnick on your Faceless Void, Dendi the Mag, both teams angling for these bounty runes, Havos the Jug, Goblak playing your line with the early boots, and Vangscore, perhaps more of that hard support role, at least early on the Witch Doctor. On the side of Power Rangers, Shachlo will be the Necrophos, Soniko going to be handling the Rubik, J4 your Venge, and well, something PR like to do pretty frequently is they will switch up Ditya Ra and Shachlo depending on what heroes they want to run. Ditya Ra will be on the 1 position Morphling, but he's going mid for now, and that will leave your Batrider in Cheshire Cat's capable hands, as you mentioned, with the double Rings of Protection in the offlane. So they've got a ward here early for the Faceless Void, and he should be able to spot these rotations that PR are looking for.
Yeah, and Void's actually going to have an okay time here. I don't think they can kill him, but Necro's one of those heroes that are just really annoying to play against because of the Heartstopper aura, because he has a good attack range, and they're going to go on him early just to kind of harass him out. And the reason that they're doing this is they just want to burn off as much region as they can so that they can go around the map ganking and just kind of set the Necro up for a really good one-on-one situation. Because if you get the Necro about 2 levels on the Faceless Void, he can pretty much zone him out by himself, just using his passive abilities. And then the PR boys can go and gank. And they definitely want to, especially for what looks like a Lion helping out a Mag mid right now.
Funnick being forced to use that Time Walk, and well, at the same time, Cheshire Cat gonna eat a cask here. Has the Firefly, he'll need to use it. Goes over the ravine. Should be okay, but they force out the Firefly fairly early, and At the same time mid, it looks like NaVi go for the dual lane early on. Dendi and Godblack trying to harass Dityara down a bit. He takes a shockwave, but actually waving out to safety, just trying to secure this bottle for himself. It's an interesting trend. This patch, it seems, the boots first supports are extremely popular. Suniko goes for them on the Rubik. We see them on the Lion for Godblack early. Is this just because of the bounty runes being more valuable now, do you think? Or why do we see the boots first so often now in supports?
I think you get it on the heroes that absolutely need to begin the fight or initiate. Like Lion is a hero that if he can get the run at you Hex off, I wanted to say Blink for a second. The hero becomes infinitely better. Same with Rubik, right? Because both of those heroes are going to be your initiators this game, and if neither of them have boots for the majority of the game like it used to be, the effectiveness of the hero initiating goes down by a lot until they get Blink daggers. So it means like they're not really effective until the 7-8 minute mark, and so it's better to just gimp one support really hard, like the Vengeful Spirit, who doesn't. I guess Venge is usually the one that might pick up boots. But if you have a Rubik setting up for you with Lift, because the initiation range on it is so huge, it's probably a bit more effective. And as a positioning tool, for the Rubik to get boots really early is really important.
Okay. Well, boots out on Cheshire Cat, and that Lion off mid lane, he's going to get aggressive here. Starts harassing Vaynescore back, stacking up the Napalm. He's getting good levels in the off lane. Your Void not having such a great time. Courier going to get sniped mid, though. Great movement by Suniko, and it's got the bottle on it as well. Dendi... This is where you just rage quit, but he can't. He's going to get lifted up, tossed back. He doesn't
have skewer either.
Yeah, he's got Empower early. Suniko just going to head south. Godblack almost in range, but not quite. Can he run him down? He gets off the Hex. It didn't look like it was a raid, but just manages to get it off. Now the Impale follow-up. Suniko still well worth it, even if he goes down. As Shachel will arrive, throws out the heal, turns it around, and now it's Godblack who's forced back. Big plays from Suniko's Rubik. I mentioned the big spell steals the other day later on in the game, but I haven't seen a bottle snipe in a while, to be honest. Teams are pretty good about protecting it, but NaVi getting caught out here and heavily punished.
Yeah, the courier is so slow, but I think Dendi thought, oh, we're a dual lane. There's no way something like that would happen to us, but just kind of a nifty trick. Yeah, and he actually gets killed by neutral. Yeah, he did it on purpose, because he was like, well, I've used up all my gold. It's the faster way to get back to base, so this is the right decision. I think NaVi, though, that was a huge trade for them, because they lost the courier. The dual lane that they did for the beginning really zoned out the Morphling, but then when they decided to run for like 5 minutes trying to chase the courier out, it really hurt them. And now that Dendi doesn't have a bottle as well, like look how much mana and regen he has. Dityara should be okay now. He's not going to get harassed by too much. Godblack is only level 2 at 4 minutes, which is not something you want to see in a dual lane. And meanwhile at top, Cheshire Cat's already got his boots. He's level 3 right now. He's doing just fine. He's actually pretty heavily out-leveling the Void now in terms of the offlane. And that's kind of what you sacrifice when you decide to go for this dual lane mid.
Yeah, and the worst part is with the bottle going down, Dityara isn't even being punished, really. He's 5 CS behind the Magnus, but now that Mag goes back to base. Godblack being left alone mid. This is the opening for J4. He wants to walk in. NaVi, no ward here. They might have seen the Venge, but I think she came down the ramp, so probably not spotted out. Still isn't off in the woods, so they may be a bit suspicious, and in the end, looks like J4 going to back off. Suniko going to start stacking for your Batrider, and Cheshire Cat still has a Tango after all this time. He's really gotten a lot out of the offlane.
Yeah, it's that double ring of protection, man. He has, what, 9 armor off the bat? How is a Witch Doctor supposed to right-click that off?
I see what you did there.
What did I do there, LD?
Off the bat?
I didn't even mean to do that.
Oh, you're too modest. Well played. Well played.
Thank you. This is where you spam the hero wheel or whatever, the chat wheel.
I am. You just can't see it, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I think for NaVi, losing the dual lane like this is kind of disastrous. And it would have been okay if they hadn't lost the bottle, but now that you've lost the bottle mid, you don't really put any pressure on Dityara, and the Batrider starts to get a lot. Like, he's just kind of farming with impunity. He's got Tranquil Boots already. He's got 5 on top of that, and it looks like Dendi's going to go down mid. No.
Waveform in 3 seconds. He's going to Strength Morph and go for it, but now he's short on mana. Needs to... Oh, TP out. He ends up going down. Maybe here. Does Funny get a bash? No. Doesn't. Only had the 1 auto attack shot there. And now on to J4. There's your pit first at bash. J4. That's a sad, sad Venge. Spend your gold, my friend. Not going to spend it. First blood to NaVi. Oh, Dendi. So lucky there. Looked like he was going to go down, but just a bit short on the mana was Dityara.
Yeah, and Soneko's actually looking for the kill right now, and he's gonna find Dendi.
He actually.
Oh, he thought like too hard about it. Dendi was like, yeah, he's probably coming this way, and he decided to do the smart thing and skewer over the cliff.
Except sometimes the smart
timing.
thing is the stupid thing.
Yeah, he just overthought that. If he had just ran straight back to base, he probably would have had a better chance of surviving there, because he would have had the skewer up.
How mad would you be if you're Dendi right now?
I would be furious, because that's so unlucky.
Is that tweet worthy?
Yeah, that would be
rage tweet after the game.
Like, how do you even do that? That's one of those moves that you're like, wow, I really outplayed this guy, and then
you promptly die. Oh man, that's frustrating. He's just like, you know what? I'm not going mid anymore. My bottle's been killed off. I go for the big skewer escapes, end up dying. I'll just handle this bottom lane and try to stay away from these pesky supports. But J4 is gonna head his way, and they may not give him a whole lot of time to sit here and chill. So they'll send Godlike mid instead.
Yeah, this dual lane though I can't stress enough how badly it's gone, because look, if you just look at the Batrider CS compared to the Morphlings, the Batrider's got 31 CS, and Funnick actually just picked up his first 2 creeps of the game, like here in this top lane, and he did get first blood, but Funnick can't really go to the jungle. He has to take the lane away from Havos, who can jungle pretty easily, but still, this isn't kind of the efficient trade that you wanted to get out of the lanes. And for Navi, that's especially important, because if this Batrider gets a really quick Blink Dagger, they're not even going to be able to utilize their big teamfight ultimates. They're just going to get picked off the map.
They're looking for the lift on Dendi. They have the Necrophos ultimate, and with that, there's no going anywhere. An extra 30 seconds to think about his mistakes. It's really developing into a sad game for Dendi. He comes in on the Magnus, but I suppose the caster curse is too strong. I hyped up his mag, and now he's just getting punished all over the place.
Yeah, and it definitely isn't even really his fault. The whole thing with the bottle, and then the time where he skewers over the cliff to try to live and just get back to the base a little bit safer and faster. Those things are kind of like freak occurrences that don't happen very often. But the fact that they are, I mean, Ditya Ra now has been pretty unpunished, and Morph is a kind of hero that you want to pressure early, because as it gets later, he gets more levels of Morph, and it just becomes impossible to gank him.
They're going to rotate that Batrider into the woods, and with that, how many stacks does he have? Looks like he might have already cleared some of them, but he's close to the blink, so they're getting the Bat Blink in a timely fashion. Shadeslow potentially building towards the Bloodstone. We'll see if he wants to go further with that. Ditya Ra, now the Gloves of Haste out, so perhaps a Midas inbound for his Morphling. Very level-dependent hero. Could be a good choice, and at the same time, Navi just playing catch-up. But what do you do if you're Navi here? How do you adjust? Like, you obviously, your mid lane was a disaster. Jug is still farming pretty well. Do you try to rotate the Jug around for kills? Do you try to go for that Roshan sneak with the Mask of Madness? What's your game plan if you're Navi, do you think?
I think what they're doing right now is fine. Just trying to get safe levels and farm on Funnick. Like, Funnick's really caught up now. He's got 18 CS. At 9 minutes, it wasn't great, but considering he had 1 CS at the 7-minute mark, he's really kind of stepped things up. And you kind of go for whatever pickoffs you can, like here in the mid lane. Havas actually slays Ditya Ra.
He didn't even pop the Mask of Madness there. Still ends up getting the kill. Nicely done. And, well, I was like, oh, he's going to be so sad if this bounces a few times to the Venge, but they don't end up getting that kill. But instead, Ditya Ra goes down the Venge, also falling to the tower. A big double kill there for Navi, and much needed, too. This game was starting to look out of reach. 2,500 gold lead at, like, 8 minutes, but now just down to 1,000.
Yeah,
experience almost dead even.
The key here is just to not get panicked, LD. Like, things went really bad in the beginning, but you have a lot of different teamfight ways to catch back up in the game. Funnick's about to pick up his Midas as well, which is a pretty good time considering how badly the game started. He's got the recipe. I think the game plan here is just to try to get levels and core items up on heroes and then look for engages. Like, Dendi still has a lot of farm despite everything that's gone wrong for him. He's got Arcane Boots and Bottle at 10 minutes. I think he would want the Blink Dagger at around 13, 14 minutes, and then just try to use the presence of the RP to deter people from fighting, and at bottom, Goblik's going to go down.
It's very annoying playing against this Necrophos. Every time he gets the kill, lying dead for 40 seconds at 11 minutes. And it's really going to slow down his ability to work towards, well, I was going to say Blink Dagger, but just some upgraded boots at this point would be pretty nice for him.
Didn't he start with boots? Like, when we talking about this, how he started with boots?
There's been nothing since then.
Oh, and at top.
Havos going in for the big right clicks. He does get stunned under tower, and they use the Witch Doctor heal to keep on moving forward. Now the Chrono drop. Blade Fury on the periphery as Havos looks for a way in. They'll dive onto Sadigo, and he gets the stolen Omni. He brings too low. Funnick will be the first one down, and now Havos on the way out. The healing ward keeping them in fighting shape. Omni up in 20. Man, that was... I didn't even see. He must have stolen that earlier because he'd already used Blade Fury at the top lane.
Yeah, and that was just a really key steal. I think that they thought with the Chrono alone, they should be able to get the rebuttal kill as well on Seneko, but they weren't able to pick up anything, and that's huge for him because he's already level 7. He's got Arcane Boots and an Urn, and he hasn't really even been laning. He's been walking around the map doing clowny stuff. And the Vengeful Spirit actually has quite a lot too. Like, she's got a Magic Wand, Boots of Speed, a Smoke. I mean, she's definitely more farm than this Lion is. Oh wait, no, she's not. The Lion has actually picked up a lot of farm in the off lane, but he's not level 6 yet. And considering he was dual laning, and he has been camped in this bottom lane, I think that Goblack should have a little bit more.
Yeah, and the Venge has died 3 times, but they've gotten a lot on their cores with the 3 of the top 4 farmers on their team currently. So PR taking the tier 1 bottom, that'll help them out, and they have this smoke online. Blink Dagger ready for Cheshire Cat. When he went for the kill on the Lion bottom, he didn't actually buy the blink. He just walked in and got it, but now he's picked it up. They'll smoke. Not sure if Navi have seen the blink, but they should know it's out by now. Just with the start he had, the fact he's been off the map for quite some time. Doesn't matter if you suspect it, though. If you get jumped and Cheshire Cat in prime position to leap onto Funnick, he'll get the lasso off to start. Now they steal Time Walk with the Necrophos ult here, the backtrack. Not with him, but Omni Slash comes through. Havos finds one. Now gotta run his way out of here.
No, the RP!
Forward. RP. Get Shade Show. The retreat from Havos. He stays alive. Through it all, the sticky napalm charges are there, but they can't follow it up. Into the trees he goes. The creeps to follow him. Not enough. The turn onto Cheshire Cat. Goblack with the Hex online, but they can't really follow it up too much.
I think that's an okay trade for PR there. They traded, what, the Vengeful Spirit and your 1-position Necro for the Mag and the Void. That's probably okay. They did expend the smoke, and they did show that they do have the, they used the first blink on that. But I think that's still okay for Power Rangers, because Necro isn't a hero that really needs that much farm. You kind of just need an Aghanims, and then you delete people from Dota.
It's so frustrating to play against him. And I think he's almost got his Bloodstone. He may have bought before he ended up dying. The Soul Burster now complete. This is a very fat Necrophos.
Yeah, he's going to have like a 15-minute Bloodstone at this rate. I think it's only 600 or 550 more gold to go. But he can still die really easily. If you notice, he's really lacking on armor. He's only got 7, and the new Juggernaut is the worst hero to play against when you have low armor. Like, yeah. look how much he crits for right now. He crits for
and he's got Empower, yeah.
Yeah, that combo alone is going to be miserable. It's like he's got a free Battle Fury.
And except he can constantly fight, and he could go solo Roche. Super annoying to deal with. They get the Witch Doctor ult off. Shade Show trapped out inside of this Chronosphere. Rubik walked into it. He steals the Chrono onto Havos. Big plays. They got the lasso on Vang score as well. Tossing it back down to Earth. Saniko again finding the openings here. They'll bring down the Witch Doctor with the follow-up, and from there it looks like PR are going to settle for that. A 2-hero takedown in the end. Nice plays by them.
Yeah, and Shishlo doesn't even die there.
Crazy.
That was the miserable part.
It looked like it would be an easy kill, but not the case.
He's just so tanky. He's got 1400 health. I mean, the level 1 Witch Doctor ult is... It doesn't really do that much. Like, you think it might, and the level 1 Chrono, it only lasts for 4 seconds. Or actually, no, that's with Scepter. No, it is 4.
Yeah, but it used to be like 4.5, I believe, because there was an R that persisted afterwards, which they changed a couple of patches ago, so... It is a bit shorter now than it was originally. Just like a relic of, I guess, Dota 1 mechanics that Ice Frog decided to remove from the game. The other thing is that Havos did not use Omni Slash there. He holds onto it, I guess figuring they don't need to use it, but ends up costing him pretty heavily. He dies, Omni Slash never put on cooldown, and had he used that, it looked like it would have been a kill, even with the stolen Chrono.
Yeah. But with the stolen Chrono, that was such a good timing, too.
It's going to be a good Rubik game. Saniko, after the courier sniped the stolen Chrono, we've seen stolen Omni Slash. This is, mind you, before he gets blinked.
Oh, and... Oh, that was so greedy. Did you see that?
He should have hexed.
He should have just gone for the hex, and they definitely could have picked up the kill there. There was 4 heroes in position. That should have easily been a kill on Ditya Ra, but it's not. But I think Navi should be able to get the Roshan, at least, on this side of this. They dewarded this entire side of the map, if you just look at the fog. Nobody's really in position. The Bat Rider's up at top, but he's got to go and get mana. So I don't think they can test this fast enough, but still, this game is getting a little bit rough for Na'Vi. The kill score looks pretty close, but that is one death towards the Rubik, if you remember, when he suicided to the neutral creeps. And the majority of these kills for PR have gone on heroes that are high priority. Like, they just killed the Juggernaut. They've killed Dendi a few times. Dendi's now 0-3-3. They've killed Funnick twice after he got the Midas. And so just being able to get these high priority targets later on in the game means a lot more than the early laning phase stage kills that you'll get.
I will say I feel like this Na'Vi draft is a good comeback lineup, though. You've got RP, Chrono, Empower with 2 melee carries, and good synergy with the Chrono from the Witch Doctor ult. So if you're going to be behind, this is probably one of the better drafts to be behind with. But you are certainly right. They're in quite a hole now, and Necrophos a hero that can keep you in that hole if he starts finding especially the Aghanim's ultimates. Now the Bloodstone complete, 15.5 minutes, even with the death. He's had a powerful start, and it looks like they'll back off from the Roche pit. They have RP. Chrono is cooling down for 15. And this is going to give time for PR to make their move. They smoke. Na'Vi are waiting. Can they get the jump?
Yeah, Na'Vi's got the high ground advantage. I think PR just going to kind of hop in, see what's going on. Voss instantly pops the spin. They pop their smoke of their own, though. They're going to look to counter-initiate this. Maybe PR
here.
ready for this.
They saw this, I believe, as Na'Vi walked down the cliff.
That was so cool, though.
Yeah.
They pretended to back off, and then they instantly pop the smoke. And so it's kind of like a... While we're retreating, we want you to go for this.
Oh no! They go for the Necrophos!
Oh god!
Replicate. Game was hard.
Oh no, they used 3 ults on it. There's no way they're fighting now. They're
Finger, Omni. The only thing they didn't use was the RP.
Oh, they even chronoed and they Witch Doctor ulted.
4 ults from Replicate.
Illusion. That's not even worth it if it was the real hero.
Oh my god.
Oh, they're gonna go
Easy Roche.
Oh, no.
Easy Roche.
Yeah, there's actually no way you fight this at this point.
That's not just the Roshan. I feel like you could go for at least a tier 2 push if you want in PR. Oh yeah. My.
That once you realize that those spells, and that's the problem with Na'Vi's lineup, as I talked about in the beginning of the game. Look how long every cooldown is for them. They've got a full 1.5 minutes left on the on the Void ult. They've got a minute or 2 minutes almost on Goblak's ult. The Omni Slash still has a minute to go. And now that all 4 of these abilities are down in conjunction with each other, Na'Vi doesn't take another fight for another 1.5 minutes. Like, you just concede everything. You just go in your jungle, hide, and try not to get Batrider gripped at this point.
And what's going to make it scarier for them as well is giving up that Roshan means your Necrophos gets towards his next item. Plate Mail could come out now if he wants it, or even just some more raw HP. Di'Yara has the Aegis and 2,400 more gold, so they're going to get very tanky here, and it's a kind of a one-hit wonder lineup, right? You look to kill heroes with your big lockdown combo, the Finger of Death, the Chronosphere RP, but if you can't burst them during that time, you just have nothing left in the tank.
Yeah, Na'Vi are just like we said and we stressed enough, Na'Vi are just too dependent on their team fights, and PR has a lot better ability to go for these mini pickoffs, and with Shachel having the Reaper Scythe available at almost all times, like the cooldown on it for what it does for you isn't actually that long. It's only 85 seconds. And you're not even relying on it for damage. It's kind of like the finisher. PR just have a lot better ways to consistently deal damage. And if you really think about it, as long as Soneko has really good positioning, and he's got the Blink Dagger now, Na'Vi have to take these fights almost perfectly at this point. Because you don't want to just concede a major spell to him. You don't want to give up the Chrono, the Witch Doctor ult. Oh god, there's so much he can steal. The Omni Slash. Like, there's just so much that he's going to be able to get, especially with this Blink Dagger now. And it's not like Na'Vi has any blinks aside from the one on Mag. So he should have a relatively free time here.
Wow. They pick up their Mantis Talon Havost, and Batrider, with the completed Force Staff, gets aggressive. They had an Observer Ward in position. We're looking for some pickoffs in the Dire Jungle, but Na'Vi sense danger. Back off towards the bottom side of the map. May go for a tier 1. They now snag a second Mask of Madness. But going double Mask of Madness on these carries, although kind of your default build, is going to make them extremely easy for the Morphling to burst, the Necrophos to bring down. You don't even have to be at half health to die from that Necrophos ult. And now they make their move. Onto Havost they go. Where's the reaction from Goblak? Very slow to do a thing. RP coming through. There's your Omni Slash. A massive combination. They'll bring down 3, maybe 4. The Healing Ward keeps them in fighting shape. And Soneko will fall as well. A feeding frenzy here, but as Di'Yara looks to turn it, but he gets chronoed. Mana drained, so the Strength Morph will end. Can they finish him? He's got a replicate, but no ability to jump to it. Has the Aegis. Impaled. Now the TP comes out for the Necrophos. Quick respawn thanks to the Bloodstone. And the TP's out will go. Funnick on the way out. That looked really bad with those very slow reactions by the Lion, by Godblack, but oh my. The Dendi Mag, it delivers in the clutch again.
Yeah, the PR should have definitely been ready for that. They know that the only way that Na'Vi takes that fight right there is if a 3-man RP goes off. Even taking a Chrono to the face right now isn't as bad as that. But if you stack up like that, you are going to get RP. Dendi was patient enough to wait for that. And their teamfight ability is still strong. I mean, they've got the Juggernaut who's got almost a Manta with the Mask of Madness and the Empower on. And when they're grouped up like that, it's like when he ultimates, they're pretty much taking equal damage. They're all going to take 800 damage from him individually in that fight. It's impossible to fight at that point. I think PR might have just overestimated how strong they were, especially with the Morphling with Aegis. But the problem with the Morph right now is, even though he does have the Aegis and the Lincolns, those are all defensive items. He doesn't actually put out that much damage in return. So I think maybe the Aegis going on Shachlo would have been a little bit better here, but maybe they just thought they could keep him alive with the swap at all costs.
Yeah, that was kind of a, like you said, I think just a bit of overconfidence. Didn't have the whole team in position. They still go for the lasso initiation and then TPN. Had to have known that most of Na'Vi were there, as they were all off the map at that point. Havos caught out, though. He will get Necrophos ulted, and your Blade Fury stolen now. Only a level 1. Not really the ideal spell for Sunico, but they get the clean takedown on Havos. Dead for 80. No buyback. It's pushing time if you're the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah, PR just instantly smoke, they leave their base, they realize the RP and the Chronosphere have to be on cooldown at this point, and that's the problem with Navi's lineup. That Power Rangers can kind of just play around the cooldowns itself, and it's really easy. Somebody just types in chat, okay, you know, they do the RP was used at 19 minutes and etc. seconds, and then you just play around that timing, and it's really easy to fight around that. And they are going to go for this tier 2 as well, because without Havos, they definitely can't take a 4-on-5 fight. Especially against this lineup.
There's a Chrono ready, though. This is going to be a jump in on Cheshire Cat, and Funnick will go to work here, but it's not a quick kill. He's going to need a lot more bashes. In fact, realizes he's bit off more than he can chew, and now may get lassoed, although actually it's still on cooldown. Lift comes out, Funnick tossed back. Chrono now stolen by Sunico, and they get the kill. Funnick not doing the math. There's 2 reigns of protection here. The Tranks, the Rate of Protection. Well, that's some value there, right there, Will.
Yeah, he's got 11 armor and 1100 HP. Even with, I think with just the Mask of Madness and Midas, there's no way you put out that much damage. And you have to expect some sort of rebuttal, especially by a tier 1. And if you use the Time Walk to initiate, and he uses Mask of Madness, he doesn't have enough mana to get back out. And the bigger thing probably is that the cooldown on Chronosphere was used. And we talked about that bottom fight where they were able to pick off, I think it was like 4 heroes without the Aegis, but they didn't even take that tier 1 tower, and Power Rangers on the flip side managed to get the tier 2 atop.
Havos getting swapped. The Chronosphere that was stolen dropped on him. He thought he'd have some backup, but he was dead wrong about that. Na'Vi way far back near the tier 2. They'll now use Godblack as Impale gets snagged next by your Rubik. All the good spells for Sunico. This is quickly getting out of hand. Rubik now almost even with the enemy mag in terms of net worth, sitting at a very comfy 4-2-8. He's been involved in 12 of 13 kills. By the way, did I mention he sniped a courier? Yeah, he did that too. Sunico, the playmaker for PR, just getting things done. Now, point booster. At this rate, he's going to have an updated Chronosphere, or upgraded Chronosphere, as well as Witch Doctor ult, Void ult,
yeah, there's so many things you can upgrade right now.
It's actually insane.
Yeah, this was the dream Rubik game. Like, you think of dream Rubik games, this is it. Like, nothing you steal can be that bad. You steal Cask, it's okay. I guess the only thing that you could steal that would be horrible is the Blade Fury or the Mana Drain. But I mean, those are pretty easy to see around.
Yeah, but the Blade Fury is, at the very least, it makes it a little bit more difficult for Na'Vi to go on you in some situations. But yeah, it's a good Rubik game, and Sunico's taken full advantage of it. They now sit on a comfortable about 10k gold lead. 5k experience lead. They've got the nice deep observer wards down in the enemy jungle. Haven't fully bottled Na'Vi up, but it feels like 1 or 2 more good fights, and Na'Vi may well be pinned in their base. Always worried about the Bat Rider gang. Speaking of which, Morphling's going to join Cheshire Cat. He's in position now. Radiant Vision. He doesn't see anyone. He's going to get eyes on Godblack right as Funnick leaps in. He chronos and he goes on the replicate again. Oi, 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 oi.
Oh, things are just kind of falling apart now for Navi. They thought they had a good opportunity there. They thought they were going to get a kill for free, but I think because he fireflied, right? And so
Yeah,
he
he saw
probably
the
thought that was the
firefly.
real. He's like, oh yeah, he was close enough, so he was like, oh, this is definitely the real Batrider. So that was a little bit tricky, I guess, for Navi, but the problem still remains, and I can't stress, is that if they don't have these ultimates up, they're so reliant on these ultimates to get pickoffs. Like, how do you actually go for a pickoff if your Lion doesn't get a Blink Dagger at a reasonable time? You're pretty much relying on the Chronosphere, the RP, or the Juggle just to get single kills, whereas PR, look how many different ways they can deal damage. Your Rubik or your Venge both have excellent ways to initiate the fight. You've got a Batrider whose ult cooldown is only 75 seconds, and he has infinite vision with the Blink Dagger, the Force Staff, the Firefly. It just seems like PR have much better ways to fight without their ultimates. Like, they don't need the Necro ult to go for a push. They don't need the Batrider ult to go for a push either. And they can just look for pickoffs all they want. And when Navi does expend spells like that, when they go for chronos like that and they fail, it just opens up the map for PR that much more.
Navi, they had that one bright spot with the 3-hero RP bottom, but just been very little since then. It's every time the lasso is up, the Necrophos ult's online, PR just get the kill. And I wonder if for Navi, they may just have to rely on some big team fight either at the Roche pit or even when PR try to go high ground. But if you're PR, I feel like you don't have to do that. You can just farm the enemy jungle, continue to starve them out, and just wait for Navi to leave their base and make a mistake.
Yeah, what's going on right now is PR is pretty much hedging their bets. They're saying we're going to get farmed enough to the point that even if you get one of those big fights like they did at bottom off, it doesn't really change the flow of the game. Because if we really think about it, Navi got 4 kills out of that, right? But they couldn't even take a tower. Like, PR still have every single one of their towers up. So when it comes to objective gaming, PR have just been on point. They've taken all the outer towers out. They've taken Roshan. They took the first Roshan of the game. They are only ahead by 2 kills, but if you just look at the sheer objectives they've taken on the map, the amount of space they have to farm is infinitely bigger than Navi's. Like, Navi can't even farm the jungle out properly. They just kind of have to wait for the lanes to push in to get anything.
And they're up against a bat with a gem. Like, there's just no vision right now for Navi. In fact, as you can see, they're currently spotted out, and there may be a rotation here from PR. J4 and Dityara moving into position. Suniko, sure to join them if Navi sticks around, and they will back the hell away, but they're just getting starved and choked out. And now the shotgun's picked up. It's fragging time for Dityara. Has a replicant a bit farther back with his team. He's hunting for this easy Goblack pickup, throws out the shotgun, and blasts him right in the head. Lying down. Roche, well, basically secured with that.
Yeah, this is going to mean high ground, I think, for Power Rangers. They didn't... It's really difficult going high ground normally against a team like Navi when you've got all these big teamfight ultimates. Landing RP, landing a good Chronosphere is infinitely easier when people are grouped up and trying to take your base, because they're all grouped up in a nice little order. But when you've got this Aegis Morphling, and you've got this Necrophos that has both a Bloodstone and an Aghanim Scepter, and they've got the swap on top of that. So, I mean, how are you actually going to kill him? As long as J4 has good positioning, he can Medallion the Necro, actually. That's the new mechanic of it, right? That you can use it on your allies.
Plus armor, yeah.
Yeah, so you give your teammates 7 armor, and you can just swap them out if things go badly. Like, how are they actually going to kill anyone on Power Rangers at this point?
Not to mention,
they have to go for the dream.
Yeah. And the value item for Sheichlo is probably a plate mail now. He gets that, and I feel like he won't even be tickled.
He's got 2100 HP, 7 armor right now.
Havos! Not again. They have the Chrono to counter-initiate this. On to 2. Maybe this will be enough to turn it. Witch Doctor coming in. Nope. Another death for Havos, and Sheichlo not even being scratched. The stolen RP tossed out by Suniko. What else can he steal in this fight? Unfortunately, no Ags just yet, so he can't fully flex his Rubik muscles. But he'll lunge in anyway with Sheichlo at his side. And they get 3 kills now. Deleted from the game was your Magnus. They have no mag, no ults, no hope. Navi getting run over by the Power Rangers. Some used to call them the Navi Slayers. Navi held the series edge 7-6 coming into this game, but, well, it's now 7-7, and it's just looking like PR on another level in game number 1.
I think Navi doesn't have to be too worried, though. A lot of people are going to look at this game and say, well, Navi just got stomped, but I think this was more of a drafting thing. They drafted for these big team fights, but the problem is when you go for these huge wombo combos, if they don't happen, you don't really have a lot of different ways to fight. Like, you pretty much have to land everything in good succession, like you did at bottom. But even then, before that happened at the bottom fight, they hadn't taken any towers. They weren't able to get any mobility on the map. They just got so far behind. Like, I think this is definitely just an outdraft. There were some unfortunate errors in play with that illusion.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah, that was
several times.
That was probably the biggest thing, is when they used 4 ultimates, everything but RP, on that illusion, and then they gave up the Roche. But even before that, the game was looking in really big favor of Power Rangers. Like, their lineup just had a lot more that they could accomplish. And I think the decision to go dual lane mid was definitely a poor one too.
Yeah, and it certainly didn't help getting the courier sniped. Every little thing that could go PR's way did, and with that, the Power Rangers, they got knocked down here by Hellraisers. They want to get some vengeance. They have to take down NaVi one more time, though, guys. This is game 1 of a best of 3. Of course, I'm LD. You can follow me on Twitter at LDDota. Be sure to follow this fine gentleman. It's Blitz Dota with an underscore, right? Or is that your Twitch channel? Yeah.
Dude, it's Blitz_Dota.
Blitz_Dota on Twitter. If you'd like to follow him, guys, we will return momentarily for your game number 2. Could be the last one, or could be just the beginning of an exciting best of 3. Stick with us. You're watching the Dota 2 Asia Championships, brought to you by Beyond the Summit.